So, 4 years ago, I predicted that France will win the World Cup, and what do you know? I should have bet on it. Anyway, this year I'm going to do something a little bit different. For the next coming month, this channel is going to be dedicated to the World Cup. That's right, we're going to talk about the teams, analyze the matches, we're going to do live streams. First time on this channel ever. Come be a part of history. Just kidding. And all the fun stuff. Alright, here's the thing. I could have easily be wrong. Let me lose this ball for a second so I can talk with my hands more. Alright, so I could have easily been wrong because, that's the thing about predictions. Unless you have a time machine or you're octopus with magic powers, there's no real way to predict the future. For example, did anyone guess that Croatia will end up in the finals? Which was incredible, by the way. I can't wait to see this team this year. That was like the best World Cup Cinderella story ever. But there are some things that we can take under consideration in order to predict, who's gonna win. I feel like most people will agree that there's 3 top contestants, and starting with the logic choice or the brain choice, Brazil. Brazil, they're looking sharp. They have a very deep lineup, a lot of star players. The last time they lost was against Argentina in the Copa America. Imagine that. That was like a year and a half ago. Speaking of, my second favorite, and as you can probably guess, that's the team that I want to win. It's my team, Argentina. Let's say if Brazil is the choice of the head, Argentina is the choice of the heart. I'm pretty sure that, at this point, nobody will be mad if Messi will win the World Cup. It's almost like the world feels like it owes him that trophy, which, he almost did back in 2014. But, the difference this time is that this Argentina team, they don't completely rely on Messi. They can actually play good together, which is, it probably takes a lot of stress from Messi. Yeah, let me take these off. I wore these for the thumbnail, but it got kind of hot. 30 plus games with no loss. It's a pretty incredible record. However, and this is the scariest part, if you look at the teams that Brazil and Argentina played against, no disrespect, they're just not as impressive. And the real question is if they can, pass the European test. After 20 years, it's about time that a South American team will win. And Argentina or Brazil, I'll be happy either way. I'm even willing to put aside the bad blood between Argentina and Brazil because I just think that it's time. I also believe that more than the Brazil nation needs a good Brazil team, the game needs a good Brazil team. When Brazil are good, it benefits all of us, fans of the game. There's no Joga Bonita without Brazil, so absolutely, I'll be happy if any South American team will win, and I'll be more than happy to see Brazil perform. Of course, my heart is with Argentina. Which brings me to, we were talking about the European test, which brings me to favorite number 3, which is France. And France is a tricky one because, they have the best players in the world. Mbappe and Griezmann. They do have a little bit of a injury going on in the midfield section. But it's kind of tricky because there's a lot going on behind the scenes right now with the French team. So we're just gonna have to wait and see if they gonna, connect and perform at the biggest stage of all. Because I don't know, it feels like they either gonna be incredible and unstoppable or they're gonna flop. Also, there's, of course, the World Cup curse, that the winners in the past few decades, right? In the past few decades or so, maybe a couple of decades, like the winners of 4 years ago never get past the group stage. And they always perform poorly in the tournament, 4 years after they win. So there's that. Okay, so now if that was the top favorites, I'll say there's another layer, let's call it, of in the pyramid, down the pyramid of teams with like second in line, second in line to win, to threat the throne, to threat the trophy. And I will say Spain, they have a very young and promising lineup. There's some choices there that I didn't fully understand, like how can they not include Thiago? Ramos, I can understand, he's already older, but it's almost like they're trying to to make the average age over there to be 12 or something. But I mean, you never know. It's a new team, new blood, and yeah, I'm looking forward to see this young Spanish team, and they do play the Spanish way. So they got the philosophy down, the tiki taka, the short, the passes, the possession of the ball. Also, I will throw in Belgium in this category for the opposite reason. Because Belgium has a lot of players who are already in their 30s. It's basically the last chance of this golden Belgian generation. Kevin De Bruyne and Lukaku hopefully will be back from his injury. Of course, Courtois, perhaps the best goalkeeper in the world right now. Also, speaking of old, there's Germany. And a lot of people say Germany are irrelevant, they disappoint in the past few years, but it's still football, and in football you should know, never count out the Germans. You never know. It's still Germany we're talking about. Okay, England. Also a team with a lot of potential. They got Harry Kane, one of the best scorers of our time. They got a lot of talent in England. England is kind of like a wild card, They reached 4th place last time, which is the farthest in 30 years. So I can definitely get used to a good England team. I mean, I think it will be fun. We all watch the Premier League, and the lineup almost entirely is built from people who play in the Premier League. So it should be, in theory, it should be an all-star team. I guess we'll just have to find out and see if this greatest hits CD is worth buying. Anyway, let's talk about Portugal, or should I say Ronaldo's Portugal. However, based only on his current form in Manchester United and his performances, I just don't see how he carries Portugal to the final. I hope I'll be wrong. I would love to see Ronaldo, becomes a superhuman like we all know. So I will definitely love to be wrong on this one. Again, no disrespect. I'm not taking anything away from his amazing career. We all know he's one of the greatest to ever do this. So don't hate me. I'm just keeping it real. Next we have the Netherlands. The dark horse, my favorite team from Europe ever since I was a kid. If any European team will win, I'll be more than glad that it will be the Netherlands. They are the best team to never win a World Cup. Speaking of first time, this will be Van Dijk's first, Frankie de Jong as well, first World Cup. That's kind of crazy. They do have some adventurous choices with the call-ups. The injured Memphis Depay and this wonder kid. Maybe you heard about it. But it's the Netherlands. They always provide this creative style of football. Never underestimate the orange team. That's all I have to say. I got my notes here. Oh, okay. Speaking of surprises, a team to keep an eye out for is Denmark. They're in great shape. They just beat France recently. I really feel like they have the potential to become the surprise of the tournament. Who knows? Another potential surprise is Senegal. Or maybe no. Or maybe yes. I also cannot wait for Group B with England and the US and Wales and Iran. Each one of these matches is going to be very loaded with politics and, history. I mean, if we have any issues, we should solve them on the field, right? No. Not really, because the US, we're not so... Forget what I said. Also Group H with Portugal and Ghana and Uruguay and South Korea. There's a lot of chances here for vengeance. It should be interesting. Also, you see some people here say that it is almost impossible not to get a semi-final with Argentina and Brazil. That should have been the final, if you ask me. Let's see. Brazil, France, Argentina. Yeah, these are the top 3 favorites, according to you. Alright, so those are my predictions. And before I leave, I will leave you with this question. Speaking of predictions and statistics, the host nation never lost the opening match. So my question to you is, do you think that this is going to be the first time? Who do you think will win? Qatar or Ecuador? Write me down in the comments below. I want to hear what you guys think. I want to know your predictions. And let's talk about it. Let's just, share the love for this thing called football. And again, you are more than invited to watch the games with me. I'm gonna try to do live streams as much as I can. So yeah, you guys are more than invited, and I'll see you. I'm trying to end this with a trick here. And you are more than invited on Sunday in the opening ceremony. See you there. Oh, I almost broke the camera. One more time. That was terrible.